What is up, everyone? Welcome to round 5, the last round before the top 8 cut here at the Portland Monthly Premodern Paper Magic Afternoon September 2025 tournament. We got 2 rad decks, so let's get into those deck lists. First up, we have Duck with red-white Wrifter. It's been a minute since we've had this deck on camera, and I believe Duck was the last person to play it on camera as well, so if you're not familiar with it, that's totally understandable, but it is essentially a red-white cycling control deck. The key cards are Lightning Rift, a 2-mana enchantment that whenever you cycle a card, you may pay 1 if you do deal 2 damage to any creature or player, and essentially just a whole bunch of cycling cards. Looks like he's running 4 Lightning Rifts, 4 Spark Sprays, which let you cycle for a single red, but also are just good spells, dealing 1 damage to any target, 4 Renewed Faith, which you can cycle to gain life, but also trigger cycling abilities, 2 Wrath of Gods, because again, this is a control deck that doesn't run a lot of creatures, partially because it's also running 3 Slice and Dice, which are a little mini Wrath effect. Being white, of course, there is 4 Swords to Plowshares, 1 E-Tutor for finding the Lightning Rifts, but also a 1 of Phyrexian Furnace, and looks like there's also 1 Astral Slide in the main, which I don't like to usually run in the main, but is also a good control element. Being able to cycle on your opponent's turn to exile their creatures for that turn is decent. I will note there is a little trick you can do with morph creatures, preferably your own, where if you do use Astral Slide to blink it out, it does enter face up. However, it doesn't look like Duck is running any Exalted Angels in the 75. Oh wait, no, there is 1. Okay, so 1 in the sideboard, he can pull that trick off. The other enchantment underneath the Astral Slide, I can't quite make out, but it's probably Parallax Wave. Again, a 1 of with Enlightened Tutor in this deck is pretty decent. But then we get to the main win cons of the deck. I mean, yes, you can eventually deal enough damage with Cycling Rift, but Decree of Justice is the bread and butter. You're looking to extend the game to the point where you can slam down a big Decree of Justice and just tempo your opponent out with lots of 1/1s. He is also running 4 Eternal Dragons as well. This is not only a way to ramp into those big Decree of Justice, but can also be a endgame threat on its own. As for lands, you'll see a couple that don't see a ton of play, and that is 4 Secluded Steppes, 4 Forgotten Caves. Both have cycling for their respective color and obviously are very good in this deck. Besides that, he's got a 1 of Dust Bowl, 4 Battlefield Forges for that mana fixing, 4 Mountains, and 8 Plains, which does seem a little low for running 4 Eternal Dragons, but I'm sure it's unlikely he'll actually run out of targets for Eternal Dragon. Moving to the sideboard, looks like there's a 1 of Humility, which, funny enough, I actually like to run main. I think I swap the Astral Slide and Humility here in my normal build. Otherwise, it's fairly similar. The rest of the sideboard, I'm kind of guessing at. They are a little tough to read, but it looks like there's a Cleansing Meditation, 2 Glow Riders, which have a non-creature tax effect, which is pretty cool, 1 of Tormod's Crypt, 1 Disenchant, 1 Karmic Justice, 1 Warmth, 1 Circle of Protection Red, 1 Exalted Angel, 1 Pyroblast, 3 Red Elemental Blasts, 1 Argovian Find, I believe that's the one, where you can return an artifact or enchantment from your graveyard to your hand, 1 Oromancer, 1 Rune of Protection Red, which also has cycling. In fact, I'd actually question why we're not running 2 instead of the Circle of Protection Red. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think the Argovian Find, Oromancer, and Rune of Protection are in the main, because there is 15 cards turned sideways. So scratch that. I think those cards are actually in the main board, which is even more interesting and a little bit more spicy. I like it. Anyways, that's Duck's deck. Very cool stuff to see. I can't wait to see how it plays out. But before that, who's he playing against? Next up is John B with Pattern Rector. I hardly knew her. Jokes aside, this deck is tricky. There's definitely a lot of lines you can play with this combo deck, most of which are, I'm going to admit, a bit foreign to me. This deck always makes my brain wrinkle a little bit, but I'm going to do my best for you guys to explain the combo pieces and some of the important lines. So the name Pattern Rector revolves around 2 cards. Pattern of Rebirth, a 4-mana aura. When enchanted creature is put into a graveyard from play, that creature's controller may search his or her library for a creature card and put that card into play. If that player does, he or she then shuffles their library. So tutor on an aura, but you have to make sure the creature dies. Seems straightforward-ish, right? Also important, it does put it into play. The other part is Academy Rector, a 4-drop. Whenever Academy Rector is put into graveyard from play, you may remove it from the game. If you do, search your library for an enchantment card, put that into play, then shuffle your library. Now, with those 2 key pieces, you can kind of see a combo forming. The other pieces you know about are Karmic Guide, which lets you return a creature from the graveyard and put that into play. Having sack outlets like Carrion Feeder and Goblin Bombardment. Goblin Bombardment notably tutorable with Academy Rector, and also cards like Iridescent Drake, which lets you return target enchantment to the battlefield, or as Shapeshifter, which becomes whatever the top creature card in your graveyard is, and then just a bunch of toolbox, and then a bunch of toolbox creatures that we'll get into in a moment. So So this is essentially a couple combo wins in the main deck, I believe. Again, not a deck I'm super familiar with, but doing my best. Goblin Bombardment using Karmic Guide and a Vorash Shapeshifter, I believe, can trigger infinite damage through sacks that way. I believe the way you stack that works. Correct me if I'm wrong. There is also the sack outlet of Carrion Feeder, being able to put a ton of counters on it, or the really tricky lines, being able to put a ton of counters on the Vorash Shapeshifter because it thinks it's a Carrion Feeder, and then putting a Chroma Angel of Wrath on top of the graveyard, which does have haste and flying, so you can then just swing in for the win that way. I'm sure there's others, but let's just get into the full list. Okay, we got 4 Academy Rectors, 4 Wall Roots, 2 Karmic Guides, 4 Carrion Feeders, 4 Cabal Therapy, 4 Birds of Paradise, 4 Survival of Fittest, 1 Goblin Bombardment, 3 Patterns of Rebirth, 1 Vorash Shapeshifter, 1 Elvish Spirit Guide, 1 Squee Goblin Bob, 1 Achroma Angel of Wrath, 1 Caller of the Claw, 1 Body Snatcher, 1 Mesmeric Fiend, 1 Iridescent Drake. As for lands, he's got 2 Reflecting Pools, 4 Windswept Heaths, 4 Landwar Wastes, 1 Caves of Quellos, 1 Plains, 4 City Brass, 3 Gemstone Mines, and 3 Forests. In the sideboard, he's got 2 Duresses, 2 Swords to Plowshares, 3 Xantid Swarms, 1 Naturalize, 1 Seal of Cleansing, 1 City of Solitude, 1 Sphere of Law, 1 Form of the Dragon, which is a fun alt win con, 1 Uktagdi Orangutang, 1 Get 2 Slinger, which I believe can hit players. I'm not entirely sure. If it does, that's another alt win con, otherwise it's just a good utility card, and 1 Worship. Really cool deck, really hard to play well, so I'm excited to see how this goes. I'm hoping to learn a thing or two for sure. So without further ado, let's get into the games. And here we go. Duck is on the left, John is on the right. Now, Duck does have some tools to interact with what John is up to, but it doesn't look like he's found them yet. So we're gonna mulligan and see if both players have a keepable hand when we get back. Duck looking for 6 here. John did decide to keep his 7. Now, it's probably safe to assume both players know what the other is on. Again, this is round 5, so there's been enough time to kind of walk around, see what's happening. A lot of Duck's interaction in the main board is creature. Oh, there's a Phyrexian Furnace. That actually is good against John's deck. Does make the combo a bit trickier to interact with. There's a Cabal Therapy. What do we name? Maybe Swords of Plowshares. Maybe Lightning Bolt. Who knows? Didn't find it. Alright, Duck gonna just play out a Mountain and pass. Swept Heath here for John, going to crack it. Go find a Survival of Fittest. In response, Duck also gonna cycle, I should say, is a Forgotten Cave. Then hit your bottom card, which is Cabal Therapy, and then actually cracking it to also hit the Windswept Heath. Draw a card. Very interesting play. See a survival deck, you generally want to keep Graveyard Hate on board. Okay, there's a Lightning Rift. Say go. Doesn't have the mana to pay for cycling and to shoot something yet, but John probably very much aware now, if he wasn't before, what Duck is on. And John actually just passing back here, not even playing out a land. Can activate his survival here in Duck's end step. Pitching a Karmic Guide. Go find a Wall of Roots. Makes sense. Pretty hard to kill with a Lightning Rift. Can help ramp him into other options. Notably not grabbing a Squee here, but maybe want to make sure he can make enough mana. Looks like he did miss his land drop, so that gemstone will go into the bin. And that Wall of Roots, very important. Gonna play, oh, and a Birds as well. Duck gonna cycle the step, use a Lightning Rift to shoot the bird. And go to his turn now. Did find a Decree of Justice. Kind of just hold up and wait to see what John does. Duck does play a lot in his opponent's turn with this. Okay, he's gonna cycle here. Pay 1 to deal 2 to the wall. I guess he's just choosing to do it now. Alright, cycle Renew Faith. Duck does gain 2 and shoots down wall roots. Suddenly, John is left with 1 land in hand. He is going to float a green. Looks like before that happens, pitch an Academy Rector. What do you grab? Alright, another wall root. Makes sense. And really just holding out hope that he can find a second land. Just thinking back to John's deck photo, it does seem like his mana is a little light. Does have a lot of mana dorks, but needs his lands to stick. He did find a second forest. That is pretty huge. I'm gonna pass back. Choosing not to activate the wall roots with survival in his turn. Making it just that much harder for Duck to potentially kill. There's an Astral Slide. Not the best answer for wall roots, but well, there's the swords. In response, John will float a green. Eventually, he has to go get Squee. He's going to pitch his second Karmic Guide. Or another Wall of Roots. Just trying to stay in this game mana-wise. Notably, though, the only damage done to John was done by himself with that fetch. Duck has been expending resources to take care of John's early threats, which is probably a good idea. Again, Duck is more of a control deck late game. He does have at least 1 Decree. No, he has 2. Doesn't have the mana to Decree for something big right now, but okay, on end step, I'm assuming he's gonna cycle the Astral Slide, or cycle the Spitfire, whatever, the one that yeah. He doesn't have the mana to deal the damage. I'm a bit confused. The Astral Slide is going to make the wall roots phase out until John's next turn. Okay, there's an Iridescent Drake. Duck is going to give that a bit of a read. It has been at least a good 6 months since John has brought Pattern Rector, I think, to monthly. At least that I've seen, so totally understandable that Duck's not super familiar with it. And I believe this cycle card of Ducks is still on the stack while John reacts. He's gonna grab Wall Roots. The last one on the deck. Really wanted to find this mana. Obviously, he'd prefer to find a birds, but what can you do? Having a Resolved Lightning Rift and Astral Slide do make birds a little difficult. Astral Slide is a full blink effect, so the creature does technically have Summoning Sickness. Okay, Astral Slide the Mandork again. 2 to your face. And now Duck is cooking. He's down. Got John down to 15. Alright, that land only tapping for green right now. The All Roots does come back. Alright, shoot you for 2. Astral Rift the wall roots. One of those is phased out. Not really noted here, but it should be. But that's not relevant. There's a Wrath of God. Or maybe he chose not to phase it out. Anyways, Wrath of God. John can hardly believe it. None of his wall roots are sticking. Doesn't got much in hand. He is still quite a few turns away from dying here. But does he have anything going on in hand? Tricky thing with Pattern of Rebirth is you have to be able to stick it onto creature. With that Astral Slide, Duck only needs to have mana up to the cycle. So he can prevent that. Assuming John only has one creature, he can prevent that aura from actually sticking. There's a Humility, and that might just be game over. You know, that actually might have been... Okay, so I think in the deck tech, I mentioned that Parallax Wave might have been the card behind Astral Slide. But you know what other 4-drop enchantment is also very good in the Wrifter deck? It's Humility. So he actually has one in the side, one in the main. That totally makes sense. I saw it was like a shorter name. I wasn't sure if it was a foreign language card, because Duck does still have some of those. This is a foreign language Humility too, which tracks, so yeah. Duck having access to 2 Humilities, that essentially just nullifies John's deck. All creatures are 1/1s, no abilities. I don't see how John wins here, actually. And I think John maybe just wanted to hold out to see how Duck wins. Okay, we are going to Plane Cycle, shoot the bird. Planes for turn. Say go. There's a City of Brass. The Reflecting Pool now taps for Rainbow. Uberg mana online. Does this help John? I'm trying to think if he's got any non-creature based enchantment, because that's what he needs here. Alright, there's a Squee. That can at least go get him other things. Pitch the Squee for another Carrion Feeder. I'm interested as to why one of the Carrion Feeders went to the graveyard. He pitch it. Oh no, he must have pitched it to Squee to pitch Squee to get the Carrion Feeder. Okay, convoluted line, but hey, he's got a Squee. This is how he gets back into the game. Even if it's just a bunch of 1/1s. However, Duck's got a Slice and Dice in hand, just waiting. Passing it back to John. Get in for 1. Cycling Decree for 2? That was happening here. You'll still have to pay for the Lightning Rift, right? The Decree is 3. Maybe he didn't shoot John. It looked like he did, though. Interesting. Okay, pitching Squee. Did play out a Mesmeric Fiend, however, it is just a 1/1. Also tapping, so he doesn't take damage. I mean, it's a 1/1 anyways, but it doesn't do anything with ETBs. Go grab a Birds of Paradise. I mean, it is slightly relevant here. It's another 1/1 blocker. Alright, swinging in for 2. No blocks here from John. Say go. Alright, there's a Cabal therapy. In response, does Duck fire off a Decree for 3 here? Looks like it. Yeah, I'm not sure if he did deal damage with the lightning rift. Either way, I think Duck still has very much a handle on this game. I think he's got a mountain, a secluded step, cycling rune, pro red, slice and dice, none of which were named by the Cabal therapy. There's renewed faith. We're just gonna straight up deal 1 here. Not even cycling it. Not worth the 2 mana, deal 2. In it for 3. Mountain, say go. And yeah, really, I am wondering if John actually does have any naturalizes in his deck. He needs to turn off that humility. There's an Academy Rector, doesn't do anything. Gonna cycle planes. Pay 1 to shoot it. And then, yeah, can't phase anything out. Cycle Renew Faith. Shoot you for 2. Don't forget to gain 2. Yep. 23. He actually might have forgotten. How many? That's his 3rd faith? I'm not entirely sure. He is winning this game. I think there's not really much John can do. Play a Lightning Rift. Pound the column. Down to 5. I need to find it out here. That is not going to do it. I'm going to cycle, shoot for 4, and then next turn he's got lethal on board. Yeah, swing for 3, and we're going to go to game number 2. Duck having the absolute perfect start. Game number 1. Not only having a Lightning Rift, but an Astral Slide that was relevant against Mana Dorks, and having Coup de Grace ability. I have to think his second one is coming in. He does have another Lightning Rift in hand, cycling cards. John, though, is on the play. Cabal, naming. Ooh, naming Lightning Rift, that was a good hit. The disenchant and a wait, that's not a chroma. What's that? Is that a renewed faith? Good. John's the one with a chroma. Alright, Duck just gonna play on a mountain. Pass. Notably, Duck also not playing open here, so it does make the Cabal therapy a little trickier. Not a big deal, but John is a good enough player to have his opponent's hand pretty well memorized. Alright, there's 2 City Brasses. Oh wait, sorry. A Cabal. I got the okay, and then sacking the. Interesting. We're getting all the cards. Seal Cleansing out. Yep. There's another Lightning Rift. Oof. Off the top for Duck. Exactly what he needed. Alright, Windswept Heath here for John. Probably grabbing a forest here. Most of the cards he actually plays are green-based, Mana Dorks, the Survival, Pattern of Rebirth. The only one he's really ever casting, I guess. Well, there's a couple, I guess, but Academy Rector is definitely one of them. Alright, there's a Survival. Say go. There's a slice and dice from Duck. Alright. Woohoo, John with Squee in hand. Doesn't even need to sacrifice something to go find it. Now, what do you grab? Probably Mandork. Didn't work so well for him in game 1. Does see the wall roots. Like that will be what he's grabbing. Yep. Again, with lightning ripped out, Birds of Paradise does not look great. Slice and Dice on its own does not take care of it, and Duck is ways off from having lands for that to actually be relevant as well. It is actually interesting that Slice and Dice is left in. I guess if you're all in on the humility plan, being able to have a cheap board wipe makes perfect sense. Alright, Wall Root's coming out. The City of Brass is really doing work against John. Second Wall Roots. Say go. Cycle Forgotten Cave, shoot you for 2. And John, I think, has dealt majority of the damage he's taken to himself at this point. And well, he is setting up for the combo. Okay, we are going to pitch Squee to the Wall Roots. What do we find? Academy Rector makes a lot of sense. Pitching the Academy Rector. Oh, sorry, actually pitching the Karmic Guide. Do we find Volrath? I think this does set up the combo. Next turn. Or do you find, okay, you do find a second Rector. Interesting. So not Volrath Shapeshifter. Maybe we'll get to see this combo actually go off. Again, there's a bunch of different lines you can do with this. Oh no, he's not doing that. He is grabbing Carrion Feeder. Okay. Having a sack outlet is also important. He does have a Cabal Therapy as a one-off sack outlet, but that does make it harder to combo. Alright, Squee going to hand. Are we going to see the win here? And I do hope John walks it through just for us. Alright, Wall Roots, both making mana, 2 floating. Play out the Rector. Then play out Carrion Feeder. This is important because you can sack the Academy Rector to go get Pattern of Rebirth, and then sack whatever Pattern of Rebirth attaches itself to. Okay, in response, there's a Slice and Dice. Ooh. Sacking the creatures to put counters on the Carrion Feeder so it survives. That was just a cycle, and then yeah, 2 to, or 1 to Lightning Rift, I should say. Alright, finds the pattern, attaches it to Wall Roots, sacks the Wall Roots. Finds Iridescent Drake to return a pattern. Sack that to the Carrion Feeder. Goes and finds Karmic Guide to get the Iridescent Drake. Bring back Pattern of Rebirth. Sack it again. With that on the stack, sack the Karmic Guide. At this point, I believe, okay, yeah, find Volrath Shapeshifter, which is a Karmic Guide, which brings back Karmic Guide. Put that trigger on the stack. Sack the Volrath Shapeshifter. So essentially, this makes infinite counters on Carrion Feeder, is infinitely large. However, it did come into play this turn. Alright, Volrath Shapeshifter will eventually return Karma Guide, which will eventually return Karma Guide, which will eventually return Iridescent Drake to get Pattern of Rebirth. There's another Academy Rector. I think he's just grabbing Goblin Bombardment here, having demonstrated that he can. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. The Academy Rector, Volrath, technically gets exiled when it dies. Grabs another Pattern of Rebirth. And Goblin Bombardment? Yeah. Okay, so Academy Rector, or Karma Guides is sacked. Alright, Call of the Claw makes infinite 2/2s. That's good enough. We're gonna go to game number 3. Okay, well, that is another line that I missed, is that you can always just get Call of the Claw after you've infinitely sacked a bunch of stuff, and not only do you have an infinitely large dude, but you also have a million 2/2s. Of course, you can't pick an infinite number in Magic, but for all intents and purposes. Alright, there's the Phyrexian Furnace on turn 1. Same as game 1. Hopefully that's a good sign here for Duck. Probably not going to be sacking it this time. Having access to Graveyard Hate is huge in this matchup. There's a Cabal. I saw Wrath of God and a bunch of lands. Keeping off of the Phyrexian Furnace is pretty solid. Might be a Disenchant in there too. Oh, Seal Cleansing. Okay. Seal Cleansing, also very good. Getting rid of Survival of Fittest. Very relevant. There is one. It will get hit. And we'll get exiled. Yep. This is going to be problematic for John to get through. Alright, there's a birds. Say go. Lightning Rift here for Duck. Could Wrath. He is gonna Wrath just to hit the birds, and also hit the birds with the Furnace. Keeping that graveyard clean is gonna be his goal, I think, for the game. John just gonna pass. He does have Reflecting Pool and City Brass, so he has at least 2 mana Varicolor. 3 mana Varicolor now with another City Brass. There's a Rector. Duck cycle here. Looks like you do another step, so I'm going to cycle one more time. And one more time, Forgotten Cave. There's a Tormod's Crypt, also coming in from the side. Draws for turn. Really, I think he was looking for one of his 4 Source Plowshares. That's the only really clean tool he has. Can't really respond to the Academy Rector, because when it dies it just exiles, I believe. So that trigger, I think that's what John's explaining. He still gets the trigger no matter what. And all Duck can do is pass, finding a lot of lands despite cycling a lot. He does have a Decree and a Spark Spray, I believe. Neither of which are great answers for this Rector. Oh, there's a Pattern of Rebirth. Say go. Alright, we are going to Decree for 3. And you do not want to block this Rector. Don't forget to draw off the Decree. Still get to cycle it. Yep. Untap for turn. Draw for turn. There's an Oromancer. You can get the Seal of Cleansing back. And that's actually a good point. Pattern of Rebirth, is it when it goes to the graveyard? Okay, we're gonna get Oromancer. Seal, play Seal, hit Pattern, and then exile it, and yes, it does not trigger. The creature has to die. However, oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. John happy to block. Jump block. There's a Wall Roots, another good blocker. And a Seal of Cleansing. There's a Karmic Guide. I think a Pattern. And some unknown card in hand. Duck not finding any of his cycle payoff cards here, unfortunately. Bit of a problem. Cycle the Forgotten Cave. It's another cycling land. Cycle that away. By the time he finds the cycling payoff, there is a Lightning Rift. A little late. Still probably should play it out. Also a little light on red mana. This is kind of the duality of this deck. It needs a lot of planes for its Eternal Dragons for repeated cycling effects. Are we going to Spark Spray the Daring? John has another creature out. He can go find a Pattern of Rebirth. Or he wants a Survival of Fittest. This is... Alright, Seal is going to hit Tormod's Crypt. In response, activate. I don't know if the... Wait, does that actually stop Academy Rector? Shouldn't John be able to get... I mean, I don't need to look up the card. Wall Roots for John with a Pattern of Rebirth. We did have one in hand at least. Oh, if it's put into game play, you may remove it. Okay, so it is a triggered ability. I'm sure someone in the comments has already said something, but yes. Okay, so Duck can respond to it. Alright, there's a Lightning Rift. However, I now need to think through. Okay, he's like, oh no, that's a Swords of Plowshares on the Wall of Roots. Does not get a trigger. Just having all the answers here. John down to 7. This is problematic. Gonna take 2. Goes to 5. Again, those City of Brass is just tearing up his life total. Found a Karmic Guide. Does not have a target for it. I'm still trying to think through if Duck actually had. So he cracked the Tormod's Crypt in response to the Seal of Cleansing. Seal of Cleansing sacrifices itself with the trigger on the stack. So I guess that does work. Tormod's Crypt would still be able to exile it because the sack is part of the casting cost. Okay, and the whole reason for that is just the Phyrexian Furnace being able to hit the Academy Rector before John can trigger it, which I do think works. Alright, we're going to cycle a Renewed Faith here, shoot you for 2, down to 2. It's any cycling card. Duck wins here. What is it? What's a Lightning Rift that he cycled for? What did he draw for turn? I mean, he swings in no matter what. I'm not sure what he has in hand, though. What is the other card? I can't tell. Is it just a Decree? No, it's a Karmic Justice. Alright. Not super relevant here, but gonna swing in for lethal. Has to block the 2/2. Can John can act like, yeah, give himself a counter. Go to 3 counters. It'll die. Okay, so here's the thing. Duck also has the Phyrexian Furnace. He could have tried to crack it to find one more cycling card, but I don't know if whatever John can Pattern of Rebirth here saves him. He can get into Chroma. Does not have lifelink. He is going to get the Chroma just because didn't get to show it off in any of the other games. So here it is. Flying first strike, pro black, pro red, haste. I think it has trample too. I don't know. It's got a lot of keywords. This is not going to win John the game though, unfortunately. Alright, there's a Birds of Paradise. So he does have 2 blockers. Swing for 6. He's not totally dead yet. Alright, Duck realizing. Yeah, he can. That. Crack it. Draw a card. What's the card? Oh, that's the card he draws for turn. Doesn't even look at it. He still had 1 mana up. He could have cycled it. There's a cycling card. This is game over. Actually has 2. Yeah, Renewed Faith, and that is game. Duck takes it down in 3. Those were some crazy games. I was not expecting Wrifter to take it down, but having such good answers against this deck, just who knew? This was some crazy magic. Thanks to all you guys for making it this far. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Those are the 2 best ways to support what I am doing. And if you've already been subscribed for a while, consider joining that Patreon. You may notice all the wonderful names displayed on screen right now. Those are all my current patrons. Each and every single one of you guys are amazing. You seriously make it a lot easier to do what I do. I'm doing 3 videos a week right now, thinking about doing 4. You want to subscribe to the Patreon to help make that happen. That is honestly the best way to get more pre-modern videos out there in the world. And that's because money from the Patreon goes towards gear upgrades to help me make higher quality videos, travel expenses to help me get to other states to record other tournaments, which in turn means more videos, and just help me make more videos in general. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you next time.